Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the roundup. Oh my goodness, we are here. This roundup episode, I've been wanting to have it for over a month now. Um, so last week we had Sarah that spoke with us about public speaking. So if you haven't seen that roundup, you definitely want to go to that. And for this week, we're going to be talking about getting started as an entry level coder. Would you believe it? That there's a job that nobody wants to do, and it's as a recruiter. And me myself, I found out after getting hired in healthcare. I was first in marketing. That was my business study, my 4-year degree. And I realized that that's not recession proof. The marketing team is usually the first to go and get cut, unfortunately. But after realizing that recruiting was probably something that was going to fit with my skill set and what I wanted to do and be presentable and all these things being very important meetings, that I had a very hard time to get a recruiting position. It took me over 3 years of getting a recruiting position. But I was finally able to connect with somebody that connected with me. That would be somebody that would be my mentor, even to this day. This gentleman that I spoke to. I mean, he's done so many amazing things. Really down to earth, highly successful. You know, extremely financially fit and sound. But him and his family just seem down to earth. So even past the success and what we were just trying to do then, just seeing that person grow and evolve to everything that they're doing now. I mean, man, you're going to meet some people and they're just going to change your life. And what I have realized is that we have to pay it forward. We got to also pull people back. That's what Denzel Washington always says. It's kind of something from the old, you know, the railroad kind of thing, the human railroad, talking about, more of the African American experience in America. It's not just for you to be saved, but also for you to reach back and save other people, because that's what it's all about. We can get so much success and we can be so successful that we can forget who were the people that got us there. Sometimes it's family, and sometimes it can be a stranger. Sometimes it can be somebody that just spoke a word of prophecy into your life and just made that happen. And Misti, that we're going to be talking with today, oh my goodness, we were even just talking before this call, and we go way back, 3 years way back. And I didn't even realize this. Why? Because I'm moving, I'm connecting, I'm trying my best to help people while I'm also trying to help myself and my family and my business, my employees. And it's all coming full circle. What if it would come full circle for you? So I don't know. Is this the purpose of the roundup? Is the purpose of the roundup becoming realizing that yes, RCM and revenue cycle is a lot more than medical coding, but just how well we are all connected in some way, sort, or fashion. I don't know. Only time will tell. But thank you so much for joining. This is an episode I am extremely excited for. And I know, Bertram, you say that all the time, but this is it, right? Everyone's hitting the wall. I'm trying to get hired in a remote or just a medical coding position, and I can't do it. I'm hitting the wall. What am I supposed to do? And Misty's going to share that with us today. So if you're new to the roundup, welcome. My name is Bertram Lancico. I've been involved in HIM, staffing, recruiting, and helping and connecting people since 2011. And I love this industry. I love to be able to help people. Coding was the revenue cycle and was an industry that was going to be able to help me actually get started in recruiting. And when I got a chance and opportunity to go off and do something else, I actually got a chance to start my own agency and focus it on HIM. I just feel like HIM is where it's at. It's a mixture of enough of the clinical and healthcare side, but also dealing with people and connecting and working with people. So that's why we're here. So we're going to say hi to Stacy. Stacy, thank you so much for coming in. As I've said on previous roundups, for some reason, the platform that I'm using to stream, not all the comments come through. So if you're commenting hi and I haven't shouted you out, just kind of understand that. But really appreciate you. We have LinkedIn user here. This person is likely watching the roundup on their feed. Try not to watch it on your feed. Try to actually click into the roundup and see us live, okay? And yeah, feel free to say hi and share where you're at. So what is a roundup? The roundup is a bi-weekly or so. We're getting to weekly these days. Webinar on LinkedIn Live, where employees, subject matter experts, vendors, and revenue cycle, even recruiters, more than welcome to come, can network, learn more about an industry from subject matter experts, and share career opportunities. We're also going to get a chance for each and every one of you to share your background and to share if you're open for opportunities. I call this the candidate spotlight. So I'm going to put the format in the comments right now. and hopefully you'll be able to see it. If not, I'm gonna have to open up LinkedIn and go on the actual meeting page and do that as well. But that's absolutely fine. But anyway, we're here. So that's what the roundup is all about. Our mission is to help 100 revenue cycle professionals get hired. This was kind of like something when I started the roundup, but we didn't really have a mission. I kind of knew the purpose of, we weren't really having a lot of meetings, even if we had, let's say, on-site or in-person meetings. It was hard to connect with people. So that's why I started the roundup, and it's slowly transforming into something else. Misti was one of the first people that was a visitor on the roundup, and she was able to utilize some tips that helped her to get hired. So we're going to be talking a lot about that today. So we have 3 professionals so far that have confirmed, hey, I attended the roundup. I think it helped me get hired. And our mission is to get to 100. Okay. So today we'll learn more about getting hired as an entry-level medical coder and is it possible? Share open jobs and opportunities, vendor spotlight. We'll have the Ask Mr. B. A lot of people come with questions, so this may be a good chance to answer those questions for you. And the candidate showcase. So for those people that have shared, hey, this is my skill set, my contact info, I'm interested in opportunities, we're going to share all of your information at the end. You don't have to stay towards the end to do that, but we're going to share that towards the end. So let me go into the roundup on LinkedIn, and I see my comment did not show up. So I'm here. So here is the format if you are if you are open for opportunities. Okay. 1 second. All right. So let us not delay. All right, let's not delay. So today I have with us Misti Burton. Misti Burton is someone who's somewhat more of an entry-level medical coder. All right, we connected years ago, and I'm going to let her share the story. And I recognized that Misti was someone that was looking for opportunities. I didn't have the opportunity to hire her. Like a lot of you, when we work with clients, whether that be hospitals and clinics, they don't give us a chance usually to hire or let them work with somebody more entry level. They just don't. They said, hey, we need this skill set. Even if it's not for me as a company profit wise, they don't allow us to do it. So if Renown Talent does anything that's able to crack the code, I want to crack that code. Maybe I can hire people at a certain pay range to do this type of coding and get them the experience that they need. But until then, we'll do the roundup. We'll serve our clients. We'll find out where their pockets are that we can help people that are more entry level. But yeah, I saw Misti on LinkedIn, and she was posting regularly about her challenges, about her struggles, about what she was learning. Even though she didn't have a lot of subject matter expertise, what she knew was something that I didn't know or others didn't know, and she was sharing it. And I'm like, that's the key. And I was encouraging her. I was saying, hey, I see everything that you're doing, and I'm telling you, you're going to get a job. You're going to get hired. And then I had a career report, a weekly thing that I do just to let everybody know what jobs and opportunities that we have. And she jumped on and she's like, Bertram, I got the job. And I'm like, what? What happened? I called her after. She confirmed that she got the job, and I was just so excited, so happy for her. And that all happened live, ladies and gentlemen, around a month and a half ago. But here we are. And I'm like, after you get started, I know you got to go through onboarding, all that good stuff. Come to the roundup, okay? Because you have experience to show people as possible, but also you're essentially going to have subject matter expertise as to what it takes to get hired as an entry-level medical coder. So Misti, Burton, thank you so much for joining, and welcome to the roundup.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor and a privilege to be here. So thank you. Um, Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in with us today. I know I've been on LinkedIn. I come in on the scene, I believe, going on 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, when I began, and just going to get into right into this, guys. Okay, so when I came onto the scene almost 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was so curious and I wanted to know about this wonderful field where I can put in 6 months of education, come out and have a $50,000 a year job waiting on me, right? As a medical coder.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, guys, I bought into that. I did. Are they lying? No. Are they talking about an entry level? No. That $50,000 a year job,
Mhm.
swallowing, that was a hard pill in a sense for me to swallow. But
Mm.
at the same time, you look and you think, okay, what am I going to do now? Here I
Mhm.
am. I bought into it. I've got the resources here. And now I'm finding out I can't get a job.
Mm.
I feel like I was on a losing end here and that I've been taken. Like what is
Mm.
all this hype? So what did I do? What I did, I put it to good use.
Mm.
I was like a rock. Nothing was going to deter me from my path and from my journey. I was at a pivotal time in my life for personal reasons.
Mhm.
And so I had the perfect opportunity to act on this. I actually entered coding, not coding, but the healthcare field altogether in 2018.
Okay.
And I entered it. Yes, I was a phlebotomist. So, because healthcare, it's just, I love it. My sister, who passed away 5 years ago, she had a car accident. She was rendered a quadriplegic. She
Mm.
was a spinal cord injury patient. So we brought her home and we took care of her for the next 7 years.
Wow.
During all of this, um, I said, I want to help people. So I
Mm.
got into it. I finished, my program. I went and done my clinicals, and I'm so glad I did. I was able to get that hands-on experience on the clinical side of the aspect of it,
Yes.
and I just took that and I ran with it. I learned as much
Nice.
as I could.
Really nice. Really
Fast,
nice.
yes.
So,
Mhm.
Misty, when you're doing that, how did you discover or find a passion or even get started within the revenue cycle? Because that's the thing, a lot of us kind of stumble into this. I don't, it's really hard to find somebody, let's say, straight from, high school. It's like, I want to be a medical coder. We all kind of ran into someone doing this job. We didn't even know if it existed, right?
Right. Yeah. Mhm. So how I got into it was during the COVID era. So there
Okay.
was something good things that come from the COVID era. Um, and one of those was, so I was a phlebotomist.
Hmm.
I have kids. I have elding my family, my mom and dad. They're elder, and so I did not, and I could not take that risk of bringing that home with me,
Mm.
right? And so that's where it began for me. I said, I still want to help patients. I
Mm.
still want to know what's going on. I want to be able to bring all of this information and help one patient at a time. Now, do I still have that one on one? I do. Is it in person? No. That's what I love about it because I'm still helping that patient. Is it on through a claim? Yeah, I'm good with that because I know even the smallest minute thing
Hmm.
with that patient, I had hands in that. That's
Yes.
my name that's on that
Yes.
helped
Yes. Yes.
whatever, to help the situation.
So I usually go into how we we have connected and met with speakers in the past, but you actually had news for me how we met not as a recent but even 3 or so years ago. What happened?
Mhm. Well, so I got into coding, right? I started my program and I wanted to know more. I wanted to know everything.
Mhm.
There was like not enough hours in the day for me to
Mhm.
just absorb and learn all that I can. And whenever I got into this aspect, into the side of it, and on end into my coding, I started doing research because you have to be a researcher if you're going to be a coder. That's a
Mhm.
given, right? You have to stay on top of everything, right?
Mm.
And so I took action. I got on LinkedIn. I heard, from word of mouth and from just the being in the industry, for a while now. uh,
Mhm.
hey, LinkedIn's going to be the way to go for me, because there is where I discovered you. I discovered so many of my mentors. They didn't even know
Mm.
they were my mentors, but they were. I think there are a few that may be here with us today that
Yes. Yes.
that I've had interactions with for the last 3 years, almost 3 years now. And yeah, so you guys, thank you. Thank you so
Misty,
much.
you haven't had the experience yet, but what's going to be even like taking it to another level is when you get a chance to meet some of these amazing people in person, because you both know so much about each other that when you meet, they're going to be tears, they're going to be hugs, and it'll be like the first time you met, but not really, because you've known this person, talked to this
Mhm,
person. And I
mhm.
am looking forward to when we are going to have more in-person meetings and be at conferences and whatever the case may be. I mean, I think I need to get an invite to HealthCon because I know like almost everybody there. So anyway,
Right.
I know like whenever that happens, it's so mind-boggling. And because Missy shared with me, so 3 or so years ago, um, she's going through her program, and she's like, "Hey, let me send Bertram my resume." And she sent me her resume, but even as of recent, she critiqued her resume, the 3-year-old one, not the one now, but the 3-year-old one, as it was not up to snuff as to what she has realized what is needed. And what I wanted to share with each and every one of you is that, like, I've experienced that too. I've had that resume as an entry level person, and the second, like after my name and my contact info, fast learner, quick learner. And I realized like that's not the way to go. Not saying that that's a negative, but everybody says that. You need to think differently. And I thought that that resume was a bomb diggity, but Misty even critiqued her resume like, "Oh my goodness, that resume was horrible. It wasn't good at all." But at the time, we thought that that was going to be our golden ticket, like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We thought like, "Hey, this is it." Some of us may have even paid for that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but you come to realize and you come to actualize that, wow, there's so much of that more that I bring to the table. There's so many more ways I could have improved that resume. And other people have those resumes that's at a higher level. And maybe that's why they're getting the jobs and opportunities. But at the same time, if we don't start the journey, how are you going to realize that what you're missing on that resume? So get started, right? Try your best to infer or reach out to mentors as to what you can do, because no mentor is going to really turn away a bad resume. But if they point you to the right direction, at this, put this, I mean, before you know it, they're helping you build up. So when you go to interviews, when you go to those things, you're going to have that. You're going to be able to speak upon that. But it's just so crazy because I thought we probably met like within the last 3 or so months, and you went back and you're like, no, Bertram, it was like 3 or so years ago. So, wow.
Yes. Yes, it was. And every post that come across my LinkedIn feed, I was subscribing. I was following.
Hmm.
I was listening. I was on YouTube. I was watching all of the wonderful mentors that you guys now have available out there. That is a resource. Use it. I cannot say enough good things.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
just there's not enough, really.
yeah. That's what I joke about with whenever I see kids or students these days. I'm like, hey, when I went to school, and if it was the past participle tense in English, I couldn't go to YouTube and just like, what is this, and like figure it out. I had to either figure it out in the classroom from the teacher, from a classmate, in the book, or on my own, right? But there's so many great resources out there, and there's just so many people that you can connect with and speakers. And I'm telling you, if somebody is on the roundup, you can automatically just send them a connection request because these people are some of the best within our industry. Can I get you
Yes.
everybody? No, not everybody's like that. There are a lot of people like my mentor, what I mentioned earlier. He's not going to get on camera for anything because that's not the life that he lives. He's so in the back but involved in a lot of things. But he loves to be in the back, and that's fine, right? But those that you will see, I mean, connect with those people. You're on a chapter meeting and somebody's speaking, send that person a connection request. That's how you're going
Yeah.
to build a really good network. That's how you're going to see, oh, all of these people are going to HealthCon. Maybe I should go next year. You budget for it, you buy your tickets, and you go, and then you connect with these people and you share with them how you've followed them. There's so many ways that you can do this and
Mhm.
make those connections. That's going to help. But I
Oh,
think what a
yeah.
lot of people are waiting to hear from you, Misty, is how did it happen? How did you get hired as an entry level medical coder?
Networking. You just said it.
Mm,
My situation was a little bit different. Um, I know you guys have all heard about secret hiring.
mm-hmm,
I'm a product of that. I'm an example of that. How did I
mm,
get started? I was on LinkedIn. I was going in, I was commenting, I was congratulating everyone that I saw that worked so hard to get that new cert. Congratulations. Way to go. I'm proud of you.
mm,
I took that and during my conversations of engaging and stepping outside of my box, I was able to connect with so many different people. And it was during that time that one person in particular, when I was inquiring about certain positions and if anyone had any openings, I stepped out of my comfort zone and I posted that on LinkedIn. I did. And I would have some people will come in and say, "Hey, I'm going to send you this." Wonderful, wonderful responses.
mm-hmm.
One in particular got in touch with me, and I'm going to leave her name synonymous
Of course.
or anonymous for right now.
Mm-hmm,
And and so she's like, "Well, yeah, I'm looking too." And so we got into our chat, right? Well, so it went from there to, our between me and them, we were just messaging each other. And this
mm-hmm,
rocked on for about a couple of months, I would say, that me and this person had little conversations where we would join in and say, just want to touch base with you this week. Any leads? Any interviews? Hey, I got this tip. Hey, this, someone, I just seen this being posted that way. And so I would respond back to this person and I would tell them, thank you. I
mm,
appreciate you looking out for me. It means so much because it does. And so I'm going to speak on it, right? I'm going to let that be
mm,
known. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. And I took that and I kept on. I kept on sending out the 100 plus resumes, all of the interviews, everything that you can imagine that you're going to go through. And
true.
one day she came to me and she said, "Hey, I've got to tell you something." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Well, I work for a company." She said, "You remember me telling you about the company I work for?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, there's a little bit more to it than that." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And so we conversated, right? The next thing I know, I'm being put in touch with the hiring managers, the recruiters of my company, my team leads. All of this was happening within the 2 months, and I had no idea. I am a
Mm,
prime example of
wow.
secret hiring.
Yep, quiet
She it
hiring they call it sometimes.
or
Yes.
is that what it is? Quiet hiring? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So what Misty is referring to, everyone, is she was posting and sharing information. It could be, let's say she attended a webinar and somebody shared information about radiology. She was taking that information and posting and sharing it like, hey, I attended this meeting and they shared this. And from that, people were connecting with her, commenting, but also she was getting DMs and private messages from some of these people. One of these individuals, after engaging with them for over 2 months, shared with her that she actually had a very high position in our company and they're looking to hire somebody. Why don't you talk to hiring manager, the team leads, and the recruiters? And she does that. She's like, okay. And then she's presented with a job opportunity. A lot of people are waiting to post until they reach and they achieve that pinnacle. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to realize it's all about the journey. It's all about you attending a roundup and learning something and be like, wow, if you haven't attended the roundup, you should do this. And once you start sharing and once you start realizing, and there's another person that you might know, you probably know Refka, right? Refka
I
and you are doing
do.
the same thing. When
Thank
you're
you.
in need and when you're hungry, just like Aladdin, my daughter loves Jasmine, so we watch Aladdin a lot. If you remember Aladdin, the movie, Aladdin was
Yeah.
hungry and he was starving and he had his pet monkey, all right, Abu, to
Yeah.
feed as well. But
Yeah.
he saw the two little kids starving. So what did they do? They gave the bread to to the kids. I truly believe in that movie, it's not mentioned or said anywhere. The universe was testing them. God was testing them. God was saying, I want to see if you can give up this bread because I'm about to give you the palace. You're about to be at the prime seat. You're going to become a prince.
I
Not a lot of men
know.
get married into those positions, but nevertheless, but when you can congratulate when you're in need, you are reaching self actualization. And when the universe sees that, the universe is like, wow, like you are actually getting to the frequency of gratification as well as you're happy no matter what happens. So when you even get the position, you're happy, but you're not so over elated that, your life is better. You're content either way. And that is, I truly believe, the secret of success. It's not getting to a certain point, getting the position. It's being happy all throughout the process and having a story. And that's what I love about the roundup. I'm realizing that everybody has such an amazing story to share. Sarah shared with us last week that, hey, you know what? I missed a job interview. I was lost in the hospital. And boom, there was a job fair. I just walk in. I had resumes in my hand and she got the job. Like, it's so amazing how these things happen just by us putting ourselves out there, getting a little bit out of our comfort zone. But that is a tuition that we each have to pay to get there. So I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, comment, congratulate, reach out, network.
Yes.
Have one or two people within your network. Let's say,
Yes.
you're an entry level person. Say, hey, you're entry level too. Can we share jobs and opportunities? Can we kind of like ping each other? Can we kind of work together and you build a relationship with these people? Now, it's not just you looking for a position, it's the three or four of you. And I don't know, you have a WhatsApp chat that you're just sharing jobs and opportunities, whatever the case may be. And before you know it, boom, like, hey, this
Oh,
company is hiring 5 people
wow.
and you all get hired.
Yes.
These things happen
Yes.
all of the time. So stop
Yes.
facing the battles and the giants by yourself. There are a lot of people that want to help you.
Mhm.
And a lot of it comes from what I say. And this is my tenet whenever I'm asked to speak. It's not what you know. It's not who you know. It's who knows you. People have to know your current situation so they can help your current situation. And the way people can know your current situation is by getting on a place like LinkedIn when you can create or manifest a network of professionals in what you're looking to do. So when you say, hey, I had a hard time, hey, I failed that job interview, hey, I had interview number 100, hey, I submitted 100 resumes, they know that you're looking for jobs and opportunities. That's where the
Yes.
secret sauce is right now.
Yes. And also, I want to let all of you guys know that your presence it's the small things too that we have to remind ourselves of. Your presence of being on LinkedIn, number one, right? That's going to count. People look for that. The recruiters are out there. They
True.
are looking at you. Okay. When you comment on something, you never know who's watching you. When you
True.
share a post, You never know who's watching you. When you ask that question that people, the veterans that's been in this industry for years, and you're like, oh, okay. And you realize what type of, it doesn't matter. They're going to notice you. They're watching you guys. Be on your P's and Q's. Be hopeful. Be positive.
Yep.
Be a rock. Don't let nothing deter you. Please.
And I would say
Don't.
that I would echo that because we're getting into what may be a really hard time for a lot of people, and a lot of people have already been experiencing that. There are a lot of recruiters that have been out of jobs for months, if not close to a year now, and they're like, they're about to file bankruptcy and lose their houses and all of those things. And me, as originally a recruiter, not more business owner and doing other things, but I can get my head in the sauce and be like, what's going on? And it's a hard time. Be very careful about the news that you accept. Just because somebody is facing financial difficulty doesn't mean somebody else isn't prospering and doing well and getting hired and getting the jobs and stuff. And things are very cyclical. A lot of those recruiters, I'll also say, forgive me, but a lot of those recruiters that were getting jobs and they were accepting it, and after 2 years jumping and jumping and jumping, guess what? That catches up with you after a little while. When things start back up, what's the first position that companies are going to hire for because they need to hire everybody else? It's going to be the recruiters. So what am I saying? I'm saying don't get lost in the sauce. Don't pay attention to the news. Just because it's bad over there doesn't mean it needs to be bad in your house. Just because this other
Right.
coding company laid off 10,000 people doesn't mean you're going to get laid off. But a lot of times we will manifest stuff in our lives because we are so into whatever happened. Who remembers, 2008, like the recession or whatever, right? There are people in 2010 talking about the recession. 2011,
Mhm.
yes, maybe for them they were having a recession, but a lot of other people picked up their bags and they got to moving to to greener pastures, right? So
Yeah.
try not
Mm.
to get lost in the sauce, I would say.
Right.
Wow,
And then,
Misty, it's so like amazing to have you here. Like you just don't know. You just don't
it's just,
know.
I
People need to
know.
know it's possible.
It's so awesome. It is just, this is, I never thought this day would come that I would get to meet you and everyone. Um, Please know, guys, that you are not alone. Do not
Yeah.
give up.
Hmm.
You're going to have times that you're going to be like, what am I doing? I have just wasted this money. Don't, no, don't do that to yourself. Be
Hmm.
proud of yourself. Stay strong, stay determined. This is all about you and your journey and what you can bring to the table for not only yourself, your family,
It's true.
that person out there that needs you. There are people out here that are watching you and that are loving you and paying attention to you. Be
Yes,
accepting of that. Be willing to accept your shine when it's your time
that's right. That's right. And
and pay
one
it
thing I'll
forward.
say,
Always pay it forward.
yes, and one thing I'll say is, that's actually the question. So the question today from Mr. B is: this person had their resume professionally done, but they're still hitting the wall, and we're talking about it right now. One of the things a lot of people are looking for is cultural fit within their organization, but it's also the mentality of an individual or spirituality as to where they're at. Well, Bertram, are they going to hire me if I'm Christian or not? No, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if your spirit is good enough that you feel good about whatever's happening to you or what you're experiencing, that is going to have people gravitate towards you. Sorry, I can't speak on
Yeah.
my sometimes, right? I also have typos, forgive me. but what Missy is talking about is like she was just going through the process and loving and enjoying every part of it. And if she can help, she can
Yes.
help. And if not, it's okay. But she's just moving and she's happy about it. And it didn't mean that you didn't need, it didn't mean that you couldn't use more money or resources, or, maybe even have some people that are saying that, hey, what are you doing? You're wasting
Yes.
your time. You should do this. Like, you're just like, you know what? It's okay. Like, I'm here for a reason. You just kept on moving. The
I
mentality
did.
piece and having that positivity plays out so well when you're in interviews, when you have to speak up, when you have confidence. And it's very okay to tell somebody that, hey, this is out of my comfort zone, but if this is what you're asking for, I can do it for you, right? Like just doing that and presenting that, especially when you're interviewing, I'm telling you, it makes a
Yeah.
very big difference because anybody can have a perfect
Huge
looking
difference.
resume. But if you show up less than perfect or not matching, or you can't speak to what the resume says, like, you're missing a piece. So for those individuals, what should you do? You should probably get with some mentors and some people that are higher level, because what
Yeah.
you frequently see with your eyes is your frequency. And a lot of us in a hiring position, we're looking for somebody's frequency to see if we can work with them. I'm working with somebody right now within my company, and I'm telling you, the frequency that they're at right now is exactly what we needed for our stage, for what our clients need, everything. And I've connected with this person in the past, and it wasn't like that. She's like, hey, I can kind of help out, but I can't really dedicate. Now she can dedicate, and now it's all going to work out for all parties. So,
Oh,
you know,
that's wonderful.
just try your also best to be at that level and realize people that are at that level. If there are people that are down on their luck and they want to stay down on their luck, allow them. Right? Some people have to go through that, almost like
Mhm.
losing a loved one, going through a divorce. These things are going to be hard and very traumatic. I'm not going to tell somebody
Yes.
don't cry. Cry if you have to. But if
Yes.
it's getting to a little bit too long of being within that emotion, you gotta love them from afar and just let them know that you'll support them any way that you can. But
Yes.
don't
Yes.
allow them to pull you down within that. Okay.
Right. Right.
We did have a question really quick from Rebecca. So Rebecca
Ah.
asks, hey, Misti, advice on how much a pay cut she should accept for a medical coding position. She received job offers, but they're way less than what she's currently at. In order for her to accept a position, she wants to know how much after being on the billing side. So it looks like she wants to go from billing on the coding, but as a billing specialist, and same within billing, I mean, she's making more than what the job offers are right now. What are your thoughts on
Mm.
that?
My thoughts, my number one thought, and my advice to you is go with your gut instinct on this.
Mm-hmm.
You are dealing with a financial situation here, all right? The most important thing, are you going to be happy? Is this move
Mm.
something that is going to vibe well with you? If it is, believe me and trust me when I tell you that, yeah, there may be a pay cut, okay, but the pay will come. If you
Mm.
are loving what you do, the
Wow.
pay will come. I promise.
Wow. I love that. I love
Be
that.
a rock. Be a rock.
Yes.
Wait for your
And
opportunity. Be patient. Love what
and
you do.
one thing, and I'll give you a different perspective on this, is there are
Mhm.
opportunity costs to everything. So there have been people to tell that asked us to buy crypto like way, 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 way back. They're like, hey, buy
Yeah.
crypto. You can get like 100 Bitcoin for a
Yeah.
dollar, right?
Yeah.
And now
Right.
you look at those people, they're millionaires.
Right.
Can we buy crypto today? Yes, but there was an opportunity cost for us doing it now compared to then. What I would ask you to be cautious about, Rebecca, is if you pass up on all of these opportunities, will you get a chance to get the same position or more in the future? You have to realize that
Right.
who's hiring today is not hiring tomorrow.
Mhm.
And yes, maybe you're getting paid more now, but what is the earning potential of that career in the long run? Because I know that
Mhm.
billing positions are capped and coding positions are capped, but once you hit that cap, you can get into auditing, management. Before you know it, you're doing coding operations directorship for multiple health systems, maybe even
Yes.
a vendor at the
Yes.
highest level. Those
Mhm.
positions pay
Mhm.
extremely well. Salary, you
Yes,
usually
they
have
do.
bonuses, you'll travel, you want to go to any conference, you can do that. So I'd say, just as she said, kind of realize and really figure out if you're happy, realize your family situation, if you can have that financial support to bridge the gap, or
Mhm.
can you get hired? And if that company has metrics, or some companies will pay, hey, based upon this, and you do these and you pass all these audits, then you can get paid more and more and more. I say look at the big
Yes,
picture, because you can,
I do
this is the
too.
thing, you can always make money, right?
Right.
But
Mhm.
there are a lot of people right now, they made really good money and now they're not working, and now they're like, I would just, almost like the amount of time they spent out of work has eaten up
Mhm.
all of the benefit of them changing jobs and
Yes.
opportunities. So that's a really good question,
Mhm.
and thank you for bringing
And
it to the roundtable.
sometimes the greener pasture is not always green. Yes. Thank
Be
you.
careful.
Thank you for the
Be careful.
question.
Yeah. There've been a lot of people, and just on a sidetrack here, there've been a lot of people that have reached out to me or I connected with while they're searching for jobs and opportunities. And I can tell you, within a year later, they're back on the market. Hey, the job didn't work out, they massive layoff. But the client that I was
Oh,
hiring for
yeah.
never experienced a layoff. They would have been good. They actually would have been at their takeoff moment within that new sales position. So pick the right company as well. If you're with the right company, everything's going to be
Yes.
good. You're going to have fun. You're going to make tons of money. You know, you're going to create impact and lasting relationships. For my last corporate position, I still
Yeah.
see these people and we hug and, I know about their families and, we're friends on Facebook and I see their kids and
Yes.
grandkids and all this stuff.
Yes.
Like, you know, that was the right position
Yeah.
for me, not just by money standards, but they were able to teach me well
Right.
too. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's always good, right?
It's always good. It's always good. I've never heard somebody turn down more money.
Right.
I've not experienced it yet
Me
as a
either.
recruiter and as an employer. Misty, it's been so awesome to have you. Maybe
Oh,
we
it's
can
been
do
a
a part two in the
pleasure.
future. But I
Oh,
know
I would
that
love
we
to.
have to let Misty go because she has to get back to work to her for her coding job. Any last
Do.
words or any last things that you wanted to say? Maybe some things you wish you knew before you got started within RCM and medical coding.
Yes, their one thing in particular is you guys are in the books, you're knowing your coding, you're knowing the rules, you're knowing all of that. Don't forget about your other hard skills, okay? Be
Mm.
familiar with Teams. Know how to use Excel. Know how to use Microsoft Word, the points, SharePoints. Don't forget about those skills as well. Fine tune yourself, build yourself to who you, if you owned a company and if you were hiring someone that you would want to be.
Wow. That's like I don't have a mic, but that's a pen drop right there. Boom. You just did a fantastic job.
Thank
Misty,
you.
we love
Thank you.
you. We appreciate you.
I
Continue
love you
doing what you're
guys.
doing. We
Thank you.
um we know we've allowed you to get back into working and doing all of that stuff, but we are looking forward to seeing some more posts on LinkedIn, sharing with us
I
your
am.
challenges and all of
I
those
am.
things. So,
I've had to
thank
take a
you.
break, but I'm on top
Yes.
of it and I am coming back to LinkedIn, guys. I promise I am.
All right. All right. We look forward to seeing you there. And if you
Thank
haven't
you so
already,
much.
ladies and gentlemen, please send Misty congratulations on getting landed, being
Thank
willing to
you.
come out of her comfort zone and speak with us today
Mhm.
because she knows it's going to be helpful for so many. And I
Yes.
mean, you don't have to be a subject matter expert to be a speaker, to say that you have some sort of subject matter expertise. I can't speak on because my getting hired as an entry level person is now totally outdated, over 10 years now, right? And so Missy was able to speak to us for that. And it is possible. It is
Yes.
possible. It is possible. All right,
Absolutely.
Missy, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so
Okay. We'll see
much,
you around.
guys. Much love. Bye.
All right. Bye bye. Wow. So this is where we get into the jobs portion. And wow, chills. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Wow. So I don't know. This roundup, I know a lot of people are sleeping on this roundup. We've gone from having dozens, maybe it's just a holiday season, to having 10, 20, 30 people watch these roundups live. And that's absolutely fine because I know that it's been able to provide so much context and content and just show you, ladies and gentlemen, how things are going on the other side. So I just love having these moments and connecting with these people. I look forward to seeing them in person. And yeah, we will keep the roundup going. We'll have our last roundup next week, and then we're going to be quiet until the new year. I have travel planned. And you know what? I want to keep the roundups going even if I'm traveling. So if I have to have the roundup from or hosted from a hotel room, that's fine with me. Maybe from a client's office or something like that. That's absolutely fine with me. But I'm looking forward to continue the roundup in 2024. We're not stopping. If anything, we're going to be growing and expanding, showing you some different sites besides my home office. So I'm going to just touch base on a couple of jobs and opportunities as I saw them. So Carolyn Hastings still looking for a coding leader. So if you have any hospital director opportunities that you're looking for, there's one right here. Tatum is also looking for a coding auditor. So that is definitely something that you can look into. And if you are not doing already, please follow and connect with these individuals, because guess what? If they've posted one job opportunity, what do you think is going to happen when they have another one? They're probably going to post it again. Okay. So please connect with them. Um, Stacy, I see you in the comments, and you may be the only candidate that we can spotlight, but that's okay, because that's all that matters. So vendor spotlight, we're still doing the qualified because I believe in everything that they're doing. They're a small business. Um, if you're looking to receive some credential help or testing for credential help, they're there to help and support you. Or even just some additional CAUs. They also do workshops, meaning if you want to do most of that studying for that credential or testing for the credential, let's say it's a CCS. So you want to do a workshop and crunch that. I don't think they're doing any more for the rest of the year, but in the new year, let's say you want to do your CCS, you can do it most of that education within a long weekend and then take your tests and all of those things. So, the qualified, and just let them know that the roundup sent you to them. There's no kickback. There's nothing that we get financially. That promotional savings just saves and goes directly to your pocket. So feel free to reach out to them. Okay. So I talked about the Ask Mr. B question while I was talking with Misty, and that's in landing a new position, had a resume professionally done, but she wasn't getting the interviews or getting hired essentially. And I would say it probably has to deal with more your confidence, where you're at mental state, and what you're frequently seeing. Almost this person reaching out to me and asking the question is showing where they're at. And what I would say is we're all human, even me myself, and I've had a lot of success and a lot of accolades. I get down on my luck too. I want to quit a lot of times. Sometimes every day I want to quit, believe it or not, right? But I remind myself why I got started. I also remind myself the lives that will be impacted. One of the big things for me is my family, especially my son, because I want to show my son how almost everything is possible and how we were able to do so much with what we started with and with what we were at. And I just want him to be with me, because at that point, and when we get to that point, because he is almost a splitting image of me in so many ways, even personality wise. It's super crazy. I want to show him that it's possible. I want to be able to guide him to do that himself, right? But what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is just remember why you got started, and pick your frequency up. Maybe do some mock interviews, maybe get a little bit of coaching, but talking with individuals and trying to get some mentorship as to why you're hitting the wall is going to help you. So it's going to take more than a resume. It's going to take more than a credential. I would even ask yourself, are you networking and putting yourself out there on LinkedIn? What are you doing when you go to chapter meetings, if you're attending them at all? Are you connecting with people? Are you volunteering? There's so many ways about it how you can get hired, but it is possible. You can do it. Okay. All right. So talent showcase, as I mentioned, I think we only have Stacy today. So Stacy is a CPC. She has 3 years of urgent care coding in a fully remote setting. Most recently with Aetna Health, EMR, 96 accuracy. Stacy, if you're still online, did we connect about the more recent Profi ED coding positions? I don't know if we connected. I think I might have asked you. A lot of people in my brain. I'm sorry, but if we haven't, please DM me and let me know if you have some of that experience, because it's an amazing opportunity. So recruiters, hire managers, employers, if you could utilize somebody of Stacy's background, definitely reach out to her and connect with her. As I mentioned, our next roundup is, I got to put it back on. Our next roundup is next week at 12, and that is Wednesday the 13th. That's going to be the last one for the year. And then we're going to start back up in the new year. I'm speaking with people on the billing side. I'm speaking to HI and management, of course, coders and compliance folks. I mean, roundup's going to continue. Next week, we're going to have Betty. Betty's going to be visiting with us. And we're gonna get a lot of y'alls from Betty, but I love that about her because she's so personal and that's who she is. So we get that when she's ever on a speaking engagement. But I look forward to Betty being here, and I'm going to create that roundup link possibly within the next 24 or so hours. So, Misty, thank you again for visiting, and for each and every one of you for visiting and being part of the audience of the roundup. We love and appreciate you. Once again, we're doing this out of the kindness of our hearts, and we believe that it's the connections and it's the relationships that we build that really makes everything worth it. Whether it's the money, the accolades, the house, whatever, the awards, just having those connections and those relationships and those experiences with those people that we care about and we find during our journey is really what it's all about. So as I always say, be renowned or be forgotten. Stacy, I do see you. I'm going to comment and reach out to you in DM, and let's see if we can get you on one of those positions and opportunities. Talk to you later. Have a good one. See you next week, Wednesday. Bye-bye.